Globalizing software can be expensive, and it often needs a whole lot of management buy-in. And so we get asked from people, how can you help me present the return on investment? How can I justify this to senior management because it's a fairly large undertaking? And really, you have to think about this in terms of two sides. You're not doing this to save money, you're doing this to make money. But all the while, you want to save money while doing it. And you want to release on time. So let's talk about this. I have mentioned before in many talks that the problem with internationalization is it's often late, lousy, and over budget. And the cost of that really is, you've got, let's say in Japan, I use Japan a lot, you've got a sales force and there are people on the street and they're pitching your software and your software is still in English. And many of the people in Japan don't necessarily want to comfortably work in English. Or maybe let's pick another country. It's Germany, where a lot of people speak English, but would they prefer to use an English product? So you have a whole competitive issue. And then you have the cost of those feet on the street. So a cost of sales, and you have a cost of distribution, and so on, a cost of advertising, marketing. All of those costs are fixed. So wouldn't you want a product that's completely focused on that market, that looks like it belongs, if you're going to spend all that money? So that's a difficult piece of ROI, or return on investment, to quantify. But it's probably the most expensive piece. Then you can look at, if your sales projections, let's say, for one market are $1 million in the next year. And then the following year, let's say it's $2 million, and then $4 million. We're just making these numbers up. If I'm late, and I produce my software, and I'm 6 months late, which is not an unheard of time, we'll even just pick up 3 months. What happens to this number? How does that affect this number? And down the line. So there's a very high cost of sales to being late. Never mind being lousy. If you're distributing an inferior product that doesn't really work well in that other language, what does that cost to your whole distribution plan and your sales plan? It's very expensive. You can actually put a number on that because your marketing department will have a set of sales projections. But then let's also look at the process. We talk a little bit about how a lot of companies, they internationalize, and when they come to localization, that is when it's time to translate the strings, to rework the application for the specific market, they find a lot of bugs. And those bugs relate to this local market. And that's a really late time to find it, because chances are they've already created the release and all that. And now they've got to go back and start fixing an application, go maybe through another level of testing, another level of localization testing as things show up. So this is a very expensive time, and you can start to take your cost of engineering into this. What does it cost to fix a bug? And obviously, it's one of the oldest software laws. The later in the process that you fix a bug, and I'm calling this a bug because if it doesn't work for your target market, even though it worked for you in English, if it doesn't work for your target market, it needs to be fixed. So do you want to find and fix those issues early and with a comprehensive approach, with a tool like Globalizer that really supports your enterprise, or maybe with some services that gets you in the right direction so that you can make those release dates? Or you just kind of want to go at it and hope everybody does it right? You might be successful, but there's a lot of money riding on it. So in terms of return on investment, present what are the opportunities, what are the costs, what's the cost of doing it wrong, and what's your cost of the iterative bug fixing that you know you're going to be stuck with if you don't have a good process and you don't have tools in place to ensure that your software is globalized right from the go.